Thanks a lot, Terry. John Lackey loosening up the crowd, standing and cheering, the Thunder Sticks banging together. The Sea of Red is ready to go tonight, and the Angels and the Giants, Game 7, they'll decide it tonight. It's 65 degrees at 5:02 p.m. The time and temperature brought to you by Hotwire. Looking to get more for your travel dollar? Log on to Hotwire for deep discounts on flights, hotel rooms, and car rentals. Hotwire partners with quality travel companies to bring you amazing deals you can't find anywhere else. Log on to Hotwire today to see how much you can save on your next trip.
The Angels rally from 5 runs down last night in Game 6 of the World Series. Was the biggest comeback ever by a team facing elimination in World Series history.
That is correct. It was an inspiring win. It forced this Game 7, but you know, the Angels, as well as the Giants, have to forget about that. This is another day. Remember the home run by Carlton Fisk in the World Series against the Reds in Game 6, one of the most famous World Series moments of all time. Won that game for the Red Sox, but the Reds came back and won the next day and won the series. So what happened in Game 6 is a memory now. Today is what counts, and Kenny Lofton steps in to start the ball game for the Giants. Lofton is hitting .309 in the postseason after hitting just .261 in the regular season. The Giants are playing their 17th postseason game, and 24-year-old Abilene, Texas native, the rookie John Lackey delivers the first pitch, and it's a little bit outside, ball 1. Jerry Crawford, the home plate umpire. Lackey into his windup, the 1-0 pitch to Lofton. Ground ball right back to Lackey, off his glove. It goes to Kennedy, and he throws him out. Lofton is retired. Lackey gets an assist, as he did get his glove on that ball. And now Rich Aurelia coming up.
And in getting his glove on that ball, that prevented the ball from possibly shooting right over the second base bag into center field. Lackey is a very good fielding pitcher, as is his counterpart, Livan Hernandez.
Lackey 9-4 for the Angels in the regular season. In Salt Lake City, he was 8-2, so combined this year, he went 17-6. Make it 18-6 with a win in the postseason. Now Rich Aurelia, another player who is hitting better in the postseason than he did in the regular season. He's hitting .281 since the playoffs began with 6 home runs. The pitch by Lackey, breaking ball for a strike. During the regular season, Aurelia hit .257 with 15 home runs, 61 runs batted in. No balls and 1 strike to Aurelia. Erstad shading him toward right. Lackey delivers, and it's fouled straight back out of play. Lackey jumps ahead, 0-2.
When John was on the mound for the Angels in his first World Series start in Game 4, he had trouble against both Lofton and Aurelia. Both players went 3 for 3 against John Lackey.
Lofton is now 0 for 1, and Aurelia is in an 0-2 hole. Aurelia has 18 hits in the postseason. The 0-2 pitch by Lackey is popped up on the left side foul. Gloss gives it a look, but it's back up into the seats. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Among Aurelia's 18 postseason hits, 4 doubles. He has scored 13 runs. He's been very productive. Of course, with Kent and Bonds hitting behind you, you can score a few runs. No balls, 2 strikes to Rich Aurelia.
Giants manager Dusty Baker talking about last night's game, saying we have a way of letting yesterday go, especially if it was bad.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Aurelia. Bounced foul near the Angel dugout on the third base side. The Angels tonight have Spezio at first, Kennedy at second, Eckstein the shortstop, Gloss at third. Outfield left to right, Garrett Anderson in left, Darren Erstad in center field, and Tim Salmon in right field, with Benji Molina doing the catching tonight. No balls and 2 strikes to Rich Aurelia. John Lackey staring in. He just turned 24 last week. He is 6 feet 6 inches tall, weighs in at about 205. He started this World Series, the playoffs, actually with 94 days of big league experience. And his fastball's up and in at Aurelia, who stares out at him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Giants have knocked Gloss down a couple of times in this series. The Angels knocked Santiago down last night. Nobody's been hit by one of those purpose pitches. Here's the 1-2 to Aurelia, swung on and missed. Molina has to throw it down to first base, and there are 2 outs. Lackey came up under Aurelia's chin and then gave him a curveball away and struck him out. 2 down.
Boy, and he chased the pitch in the dirt. That thing broke right off the table. Excellent curveball. Lackey has a good one. And when he can get those batters to chase it, especially those right-handed batters, he can be very successful. Right-handed hitters have given Lackey more trouble than left-handed hitters. It would figure to work the opposite way, but he's struggled more against righties than lefties.
That'll bring up Jeff Kent. Kent at .286 in the postseason, 3 postseason home runs, 8 runs batted in. He hit .313 with 37 home runs in the regular season. Lackey winds and delivers to Kent. Fastball in there, 92-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees, and it's 0-1. Lackey's going right after the Giant hitters here in the first inning, and that's what he's done when he's been the most successful. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Kent. He checked his swing. They appeal it. No swing. First base umpire is Angel Hernandez. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jeff Kent. 2 out, nobody on. We're in the top of the first inning. The Giants batting against John Lackey in Game 7 of the World Series. Lackey looking in at Molina. John into his windup. Here comes the 1-1 to Kent. Fastball a little low. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bonds on deck. And we'll see how the Angels approach Bonds tonight. That's always a matter for conjecture. They pitched to him once last night with nobody on, leading off the inning. Frankie Rodriguez pitched to him, and Bonds hit it out. He certainly had his moments. Lackey getting a new baseball now. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jeff Kent. Somewhere around 45,000 here tonight. And we're happy you joined us on the Angels Radio Network. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Fouled back to the screen, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jeff Kent. And the roar of the crowd gets a little bit louder. The crowd, I really believe this, was instrumental in the Angels' win last night.
That was the loudest we've heard it all season last night. Tonight could be even better.
Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Down low, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. When the Angels were behind 5-0, nobody left, nobody gave up. The roar of the crowd did not diminish at all. And I really believe the Angels fed off of that energy. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Jeff Kent. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the first inning. John Lackey winds, and here he comes 3-2. It's hit in the air to right field. Salmon giving ground on the warning track. He makes the catch, and Lackey has a 1-2-3 first inning. The Giants go down in order, and after half an inning, San Francisco nothing. The Angels coming up. Hernandez this year won 12 games, but he lost 16. He had a 4.38 earned run average. He's 27 years old. He's from Cuba, now lives in Miami. Hernandez had a unblemished postseason record of 6-0 prior to the Angels beating him in Game 3. But 4 of those 6 wins were in the same year, 1997, with the Florida Marlins. But he is a guy who is calm in the face of pressure. David Eckstein will lead things off for the Angels. And the first pitch from Hernandez to Eckstein is taken down low for a ball, 1-0. Eckstein hitting .292 in the postseason, and just how consistent is he? Well, he hit .293 in the regular season. He just keeps on going. The 1-0 pitch to Eckstein. Fastball high, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. And how the Angels would love to get this crowd revved up by grabbing an early lead. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way to Eck. That's in there for a strike. The Angels have played 15 postseason games. The Giants have played 16. Eckstein has 6 runs batted in the 15 games. 2 balls, 1 strike to David. Hernandez winds the 2-1 pitch. Low and outside, ball 3. Erstad to follow, and then Salmon.
Well, when the Angels faced Hernandez in Game 3 of the World Series, a game the Angels won 10-4, Hernandez walked 5 batters in 3 2/3 innings. Angels showing a lot of plate discipline in the first World Series appearance against them.
Here's the 3-1 pitch, and he walked him high and tight. Eckstein sprints to first base. The Angels have the leadoff man on in the bottom of the first. And now Darren Erstad steps in. Darren hitting .353. He has 24 postseason hits, including a home run last night into right field that brought the Angels to within 1. Erstad this season hit .283 with 10 home runs. Hernandez has walked the leadoff man Eckstein. JT Snow will hold him on. The Giants pinch the middle a little bit, looking for 2 here in the first. Curveball starts Erstad. It's outside for ball 1. So here's a young man from Jamestown, North Dakota, facing a pitcher who grew up in Cuba, and they're 1-on-1 in the 7th game of the World Series. Quick throw to first base by Hernandez. Eckstein gets back. 1 ball and no strikes to Erstad.
Livan Hernandez does a pretty good job of watching base runners, but once he starts to the plate, he's a little slow in his delivery, so you can run against him.
Hernandez reading Santiago. Erstad waits. Here's the stretch. And the 1-0 pitch, bunted back toward the mound. Hernandez fields and goes to first base just in time to get Erstad, but it's a sacrifice bunt. Eckstein goes to second. The play goes 1-3. Scioscia obviously trying to grab the early lead in this game.
Angels playing for that first run.
They bunt Eckstein over to second base, and with 1 out, here's Tim Salmon. Salmon hit .286 this year. He's hitting .298 in the postseason. Salmon adjusting his batting gloves before he steps in there. Eckstein, the runner at second, 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. The Angels and the Giants deciding the championship of baseball tonight. Livan Hernandez working out of his stretch, checks Eckstein and delivers. Inside, almost hit him, ball 1. On deck, kneeling in the on-deck circle, and we have said it before, Garrett Anderson is one of the few players you ever see who actually does kneel when he's on deck. In the classic pose, with one knee down on the ground and the bat in between there, and he's resting his arms on the bat. 1 ball and no strikes to Salmon. Here's the pitch by Hernandez, breaking ball in the dirt, ball 2. He's having a little bit of a struggle with his control. In fact, he's thrown 9 pitches and only 7 have been strikes, or 7 have been balls and 2 have been strikes. One of the strikes he threw was bunted by Erstad for the sacrifice. He walked Eckstein on 5 pitches. 2 balls and no strikes to Tim Salmon. Livan Hernandez reading Santiago. Salmon waits. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball caught the inside corner. Good pitch. 2-1. Hernandez defected from Cuba in 1995. He was the MVP of the 97 NLCS and World Series. 4 games, 4 wins. 2 balls and 1 strike to Tim Salmon. Hernandez looks back at second. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Good curveball by Hernandez had Salmon out in front. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Livan Hernandez likes to work the corners. not overpowering. He has a good curveball, good changeup, average fastball, also throw a slider.
Eckstein a walking lead off of second. Hernandez looking in with a 2-2 count on Salmon. Now Tim calls time and backs out of there.
This is an interesting pitching matchup tonight because there have not been too many foreign-born pitchers pitch a Game 7 of the World Series, and there certainly haven't been very many rookie pitchers pitch a Game 7 of the World Series.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball outside, ball 3. He's gone to a full count to Tim Salmon, 3-2. Hernandez looking very calm. If he does have anything in the way of butterflies, he doesn't show it. The count is full, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Tim Salmon. And the volume picks up from the crowd once again. Eckstein at second with 1 out in the bottom of the first. The Giants went down in order in the top half of the inning. The stretch by Hernandez and the 3-2 pitch. Inside, ball 4. He's walked 2 in the inning. The Angels have 2 men on with 1 out, and here comes Garrett Anderson, the cleanup man. You talk about a guy due to hit one hard somewhere. Garrett has had his hits in the World Series, but they've all been singles. He did have a blooper down the left field line last night that was instrumental in the Angels' comeback. It was the ball that Bonds misplayed, and Garrett went to second base on an error by Bonds as the Angels were rallying in the 8th.
Well, Garrett was the Angels' best run producer during the regular season. In the postseason, he's driven in 10 runs, 3 in the World Series. He was 0 for 3 against Hernandez when he faced him in Game 4 of the World Series in San Francisco.
Garrett in the 15 postseason games hitting .303 with a couple of home runs, 10 runs batted in. So Anderson steps in. Eckstein at second, Salmon at first, 1 out in the first. The Angels trying to get on him early here. Hernandez delivers. Garrett takes the curveball outside and high. 1 ball and no strikes. Hernandez is begging for trouble if he keeps pitching from behind.
Yeah, he's thrown 14 pitches and 10 of them out of the strike zone.
1 ball and no strikes to Garrett. Troy Gloss is next. Hernandez looking in at Santiago. Here's the 1-0 to Anderson. That's in there for a called strike. Looked like a changeup that he got over there. 1-1, and Hernandez kind of snapped that ball back into his glove. The first even minor display of emotion that Hernandez has had.
Had to sense the Angels in their hitting meeting before the game. Mickey Hatcher, Mike Socia telling the Angels batters, hey, let's lay off things out of the strike zone. He will throw pitches out of the zone.
The 1-1 curveball is lined into center field. Lofton is right there. He makes the catch, and Eckstein is doubled off of second. Oh, David Eckstein made a critical base running error, and the Angels are gone in the first. I don't know if David was mistaken on how many outs there were or if he just thought that ball was going to get in there, but it was a fairly routine catch by Lofton, and it's a double play, 8-4. The Angels gone in the first, and at the end of 1 inning, no score. Bonds is leading off, and the Angels are pitching to him. Lackey winds and delivers, and Bonds takes down low for a ball, 1-0. The shift is on with 3 infielders on the right side and almost 4. Gloss is playing up the middle. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Line shot caught by Eckstein. They were positioned right. Eckstein caught it where Kennedy would normally be, so it's a line out to the shortstop that looked like a line out to second.
Angels changing up their strategy a bit because when Lackey was on the mound against the Giants in Game 4 of the World Series, he faced Bonds 3 times and intentionally walked him all 3 times.
Here is Benito Santiago. Well, I tell you, one of the surprising things about the way the first inning ended is simply that it was Eckstein running the bases. He hardly ever makes a mental error, but he made one there. There's a pitch fouled back by Santiago, as Garrett Anderson's line drive into center never really looked like it was going to drop in for a hit. Eckstein much too aggressively heading toward third, jammed the brakes on, but he was a long way from second when Lofton caught that ball, and he was easily doubled off.
David is fundamentally sound as anybody on the field tonight.
Yep. Maybe a little bit of over-anxiousness showing there. The Angels tried to score in the first inning. Here's the 0-1 to Santiago. That's fouled back as well. And Lackey jumps ahead on the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Lackey's off to a good start in the game, retiring the first 4 many has faced, including Bonds. I don't know if Bonds ever hits the ball and it's not hit hard. Even the outs, he scorches them. Spezio has fielded a couple of ground balls at first that will test your courage as far as staying in front of it. 0-2 to Benito Santiago. Lackey comes back 0-2, and it's just inside. Santiago jumped out of there, but that didn't miss by much. 1-2. On deck is JT Snow. No score. Top of the second inning. John Lackey working on 3 days rest. But he's a big, strong, young Texan. Here is the 1-2 pitch to Santiago. A ground ball hit back up the middle. Eckstein can't get it. It's into center field. A single for Santiago, the first hit in the ball game. It comes with 1 out, and we'll pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
You're listening to the Anaheim Angels on Talk Radio AM570 KLAC Los Angeles. Home of Michael Jackson, weekdays 9 till noon.
Now JT Snow stepping in.
Well, with the Angels electing to pitch to and retiring Bonds to start the inning off, that's big right now because they could have had 2 on with nobody out.
Snow takes a high fastball in for a called strike, 0-1. Santiago at first, being held on by Spezio. 1 out in the second inning. No score. Snow hitting .306 in the postseason. 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Lackey looks over at first. Here's the 0-1. Snow takes. It's low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to JT Snow, the former Angel, who is trying to spoil the party for the Angel fans in Anaheim tonight. One ball and 1 strike to Snow. Looking in is Lackey. He checks first and delivers. Snow fouls one back into the booth to our left. That got into the Giants booth. Got in there pretty quickly.
Got a few ex-players in that booth. No one made the catch.
They know better than to catch that ball without a glove. That thing got back there quick.
Kuiper and Kruko in there. They were both dodging for cover.
1 ball, 2 strikes to JT Snow. Lackey delivers 1-2, and the pitch is lined foul, out of play. Left field side. Well, there have been 34 Game 7s in World Series history. The home team has won 17, and the visiting team has won 17. 1 ball, 2 strikes to JT Snow. Lackey looks at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball down and in, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Santiago's on at first base with 1 out. Bonds lined out to begin the inning, but then Santiago singled into center. And now it's 2-2 to Snow with Reggie Sanders on deck. No score in the top of the second. Lackey sets. Here's the 2-2. High, ball 3. The Angels trying for the 3rd series in a row to be a winner after losing the first game of the series. They did it against the Yankees. They did it against the Twins, and the Giants won Game 1 of this series. Now it's a full count to JT Snow. 3-2. Here's the stretch. And the 3-2, Santiago goes, and the pitch is fouled away over to the Giants dugout. where one of the many kids in the dugout fields it. That was Bond's young man, I believe. Picked that ball up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. They can't let the kids be ball boys in the NBA, or they need a couple of extra benches. 3-2 to Snow. The stretch by Lackey, and he throws over to first base. Getting back in is Santiago. Lackey in his first little test of this ball game. He got the Giants 1-2-3 in the first. Now the 3-2. Santiago is running, and again it's fouled over in the same spot, right into the Giants dugout on the first base side. So Snow has seen a lot of pitches. He's making Lackey work. How long will Lackey go tonight on 3 days rest? How many pitches will he be able to throw effectively? That's what Mike Scioscia and Bud Black will be monitoring very closely. And everybody they have is eligible to come into this ball game. Same with the Giants, of course. We'll see what happens on the third 3-2 pitch. Santiago runs, and it's lined into right center field. Well hit. Erstad over to cut it off. Santiago will be held at third, and Snow holds up at first. Erstad did a good job to get that ball in from deep right center field. But the Giants are in business, first and third with only 1 out.
That was a low line drive at ball, had a lot of spin on it as it was tailing away from Erstad as he was running to his left out to right center field. Angels lucky that Santiago was the lead runner because he doesn't run very well at all, and that's why he was unable to score on that one.
Now Reggie Sanders at the plate. Runners at first and third with 1 out, and the Angels' John Lackey in a jam. Sanders has not hit much in the postseason. He's hitting only 185. He hit 250 in the regular season, and he did hit 23 home runs. Lackey delivers to him. Slider outside, ball 1. The Angels looking for a double play ball up the middle. Santiago at third, Snow at first. 1 out here in the top of the second inning with no score. Lackey facing Reggie Sanders. Here's the stretch. And the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Good breaking ball. Lackey could certainly use a strikeout if he doesn't get that double play ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Sanders.
That at bat by JT Snow getting the single off the Lackey in this inning. That was a very good at bat. He kept fouling pitches off. Snow's had a good postseason and a good World Series. He stepped up for the Giants in the postseason.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball missed outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Sanders. Lackey goes behind the mound, picks up the rosin bag. Comes back up on top, puts his right foot on the rubber. Working in a critical early spot of the ball game right here with the Giants having 2 men on and only 1 out. 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Sanders. Lackey checks the runners. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball foul, third base side. And it's even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Sanders, if he does hit the ball on the ground, he's a tough guy to double up. He can run. So it would have to be hit sharply right at someone to get 2 on him.
Well, Lackey has the first 2 strikes as he looks for a strikeout or a double play ball right at somebody. The Giants, runners on the corners, 1 out in the second inning. The Angels had first and second, 1 out in the first, and did not score. Sanders calls time and backs out of there.
Reggie Sanders did strike out more times than any player on the Giants club this season.
2 balls, 2 strikes to count to him. Lackey shaking Benji off. And now Benji's going to go out and talk to him. So it could be that Benji either feels strongly about that pitch or Scioscia might have called the pitch. But whatever the case, Molina wants to have a verbal conversation with Lackey about this 2-2 pitch coming up.
Well, the book on Reggie Sanders. He's a good low fastball hitter. He'll crush the hanging breaking ball. He has a lot of trouble, though, with good fastballs that are up in the zone and sliders down and away.
Up and in, down and away. The oldest adage in pitching. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Reggie Sanders. KLAC set, the 2-2 pitch. That's down and too far away. Ball 3. So John now has gone to a full count to Snow and a full count to Sanders. Snow might be running. They had Santiago running with a full count. That could keep them out of the double play if Sanders does hit a ground ball. Full count, 3-2. KLAC laboring through the second inning. Has not allowed a run yet. John goes into his stretch. Here's the 3-2 pitch. A high fly ball into left field. It's playable, but it'll score a run. Garrett Anderson makes the catch. Santiago coming in to score as the throw goes to second, and it's 1-0 Giants on the sacrifice fly by Reggie Sanders. The Giants get on the scoreboard first. The throw to second kept Snow at first base. And now David Bell at the plate for the Giants.
It wasn't that bad of a pitch that KLAC gave Sanders. He went down and reached for it, was able to lift it out to Garrett for the sac fly.
The pitch to Bell is belted but foul. He pulled that one deep into the upper deck in left field. Well, he hit that ball a long way. 0-1 to David Bell, who has had a good postseason for the Giants, hitting .321 after batting just .265 over the course of the regular season.
He's really given them production out of the 8-hole.
Here's the 0-1 to Bell. That breaking ball is low and outside. KLAC is missing in the dirt and outside on his slider. 1-1. 1 run in for the Giants in the top of the second inning. They lead it 1-0. The sac fly by Reggie Sanders, scoring Benito Santiago. One ball, 1 strike to Bell. KLAC looks in, checks first. The 1-1 pitch, check swing will cost him a strike. KLAC was already looking at the first base umpire for an appeal, but Jerry Crawford said, "I got it right here." It was a strike. 1-2. Trying to get out of this jam with only 1 run. John KLAC looks in at Benji Molina. From his stretch, he delivers 1-2, and the pitch is grounded toward third, but foul. Gloss backhanding the ball in foul territory. Gets it back over to KLAC, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Game 7 of the 2002 World Series at Edison Field in Anaheim. The 35th time the Fall Classic has gone the distance. 1 ball and 2 strikes. KLAC shakes off Molina again. Now he's got the one he wants. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball missed. Barely. 2 balls and 2 strikes. KLAC and Molina thought they might have Bell struck out there, and it was very close. Maybe a little bit inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bell waiting. KLAC at the belt. Now the 2-2 on the way. Breaking ball struck him out swinging. The Giants, though, get on the board first. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, 1 left. After an inning and a half, San Francisco 1, the Angels nothing. 1-0 Giants as we head to the bottom of the second inning. The Angels have Gloss, Fulmer, and Spezio due up against Livan Hernandez. The Angels helped Hernandez out of the first inning. on a line drive to center field, double play. Lofton throwing Eckstein out at second base after the Angels had first and second with only one out. And now Troy Gloss up there, leading off the second. Hernandez winds, the pitch on the way to Troy. Fastball right down the middle, a called strike. No balls and one strike to Gloss, hitting .356 in the postseason. 7 postseason home runs, 13 runs batted in, 2 huge RBIs last night. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Gloss looks at strike 2. Troy thought that pitch was inside, and he reacts, walking out of the box a little bit disgusted. No balls and 2 strikes to Troy Gloss. That's the exact same pitch that they did not call strike 3 on David Bell. Now the 0-2 pitch to Gloss. Swing and a miss. He strikes out on 3 pitches. Hernandez breaking ball getting him.
That was a tough at bat there for Gloss. Never really got comfortable in the box there against Hernandez. Retired on 3 pitches.
1 out in the second. Brad Fulmer steps in. Fulmer hit .289 in the regular season. He's hitting .333 in the playoffs with a home run and 5 runs batted in. 1 out, nobody on for the Angels in the bottom of the second inning. Hernandez winds. Here's the pitch to Fulmer. That's low and away, ball 1. Giants 1, Angels nothing. Bottom of the second. Last night the Angels came back from 5-0 down to force Game 7, beating the Giants 6-5. Hernandez into his windup, and the 1-0 pitch to Brad Fulmer. Breaking ball is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Scott Spiezio, yet another of the many Angel heroes during the season and the postseason and last night, is waiting on deck for Anaheim. 2 balls and no strikes to Fulmer. Fulmer with that ankle guard strapped securely around his right ankle. Hernandez comes to the plate, 2-0. Off-speed pitch, caught the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Giants are looking to clinch their 6th all-time world title tonight, the first since 1954 against Cleveland. Two and 1 to Brad Fulmer. Livan Hernandez delivers. Fastball hit in the air into left center field. Lofton racing underneath it, and he makes the catch. Kenny Lofton able to run it down in the gap in left center. 2 down. That brings up Scott Spiezio. Spiezio gets a huge ovation. It was his 3-run home run in the 7th inning last night that put the Angels on the board. So Spies stepping in with 2 out and nobody on here in the second. Hernandez goes into his windup, and the pitch to Spiezio. Breaking ball, caught the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Spiezio digging in with his left foot, batting in the left-handed batter's box against the right-hander Hernandez, who comes back 0-1 with a changeup outside. If Spiezio keeps the inning alive, Benji Molina would be next. The Angels have not had a hit yet. They had a couple of base runners on walks in the first. Spiezio looks at a strike on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. It's obvious they're trying to pitch Spiezio out there. Felix Rodriguez did it last night. Several consecutive pitches before getting one over the plate that Spies hit out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Scott waiting. Livan Hernandez delivers 1-2, and it's just off the plate outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But that's where Santiago is setting up. Spezio, a good fastball hitter. 19 postseason RBIs. The 2-2 pitch to him. Breaking ball low, and it's a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, nobody on. The Angels at bat here in the bottom of the second. The Giants ahead in the game 1-0. The series tied at 3 apiece. It's do or die tonight. Here's Hernandez into his windup. And the 3-2 pitch to Spezio. Breaking ball low. He walked him. A big walk, a big at-bat for Spezio. The 3rd walk given up by Hernandez. It also gets Benji Molina up there so that even if the Angels do not score in this inning, they don't have Benji leading off, because if he singles, he's a liability on the bases. And if Benji does not get a hit, they'd have Kennedy leading off the next inning.
Hernandez continues to struggle with his control. He's walked 3 of the first 7 batters in the game, but the Angels to this point have not made him pay.
Well, Benji due for a big hit. The pitch to him in there for a called strike. Benji hitting .234 in the postseason. Has not homered, has 5 RBIs. No balls and 1 strike to Molina. Spezio at first, 2 outs in the second. The Angels have had base runners even though they have not had a hit. The 0-1 pitch to Benji, fastball down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Benji Molina wears number 1 on his back, much like the 8-time All-Star catcher Del Crandall used to do for the Milwaukee Braves. And they played in some World Series games, some great ones against the Yankees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the stretch and the 1-1 pitch. Outside and low. Did he swing at it? No. The appeal, and it's ball 2. Two balls and 1 strike to Molina. Home plate umpire Jerry Crawford went about halfway out to the mound to throw a new ball to Livan Hernandez. Hernandez didn't really want to overhand one to Crawford, so he gave him kind of a funny looking underhand toss, almost like he was playing skee ball, I guess is the best way to describe it. 2 balls and 1 strike to Molina. Hernandez checks first, and time called as Hernandez was about to pitch. He came hurtling toward the mound and then stopped in mid-delivery. And you can injure something doing that. So Santiago going out to talk to him just to make sure he's all settled in.
Yeah, he could have pulled a muscle or something like that. Benji Molina, who's facing Livan Hernandez in Game 3 of the World Series. You might recall Benji was intentionally walked by Hernandez both times he batted so they could pitch to the pitcher Ramon Ortiz, since we were playing the National League rules at Pac-Bell Park.
2 balls and 1 strike to Benji Molina. Hernandez sets. Here's the 2-1. A line drive into left center field. Lofton and Bonds won't get it. It splits the outfielders. It comes off to Lofton. Here comes Spezio to the plate. He scores, and the game is tied.
Well, that time the Angels made Hernandez pay. He had walked Spezio with 2 outs. He had gotten behind on Benji Molina, 2 balls and a strike. And the Angels also got a little bit lucky there. Had that ball bounced over the wall, Spezio would have had to stop at third base, but the ball hit off the top of the wall, didn't go over, and stayed in play.
It almost bounced over. We talked about Benji Molina being due for a big hit. He gets one here in the second inning, and we're tied up at 1, and Spezio, running for all he was worth from first base, scores to tie it. Benji gets an RBI. He's at second base now with 2 outs, and Adam Kennedy at the plate. The walk, the at-bat by Spezio was huge. The double by Molina brings him in. And now Hernandez delivers to Kennedy, and it's high and outside, ball one. The Angels come right back in the bottom of the second to tie it after the Giants had taken the 1-0 lead in the top half of the inning. 1 ball and no strikes to Adam Kennedy. Livan Hernandez into his stretch. Here's the 1-0 pitch to AK. A high fly ball hit into center field. Lofton has an easy play on it, and the Giants center fielder puts it away. But the Angels get the equalizer in the second. 1 run on 1 hit. 1 man left, and at the end of 2, the Angels won, the Giants won on the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network. And for the Giants to lead off the 3rd inning, Pedro Feliz, their number 9 hitter, designated hitter, who batted .253 during the regular season with a couple of home runs. He has not had a start in the World Series until tonight. Lackey delivers, and it's down low for a ball. And you say, why Feliz in the DH spot instead of Dunston, who hit a home run last night? And the answer can only be that Dusty Baker must have a hunch. The 1-0 to Feliz, a strike.
Yeah, Dusty was saying before the ball game that he thinks Feliz is going to be a future star for the Giants. He's 25 years old. Said he felt that he could handle the pressure tonight.
Here's the 1-1 to him. He bounces it to third. Gloss has it. Troy guns it across the diamond for the out. The leadoff man retired for the Giants, but now they get back to the top of the order. And Kenny Lofton coming up. Lofton grounded out off the glove of Lackey to Kennedy last time up. So 0 for 1 tonight, hitting .304 in the postseason. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 3rd inning. The Angels and Giants tied at 1 in Game 7 of the World Series. Lackey's pitch to Kenny Lofton. Breaking ball in for a strike. Lofton looked like he was taking all the way right there, and Lackey gets ahead of him 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Lofton grounds that one to first. Tough hop. Spezio stays with it and goes to the bag for the out. Nice play by Scott as that ball bounced off the cut of the grass and came up on him a little bit. But he's able to make the play as he almost always does. 2 down.
We have 2 terrific defensive first basemen in this World Series in Scott Spezio and, of course, JT Snow, who's a 6-time Gold Glove winner over there for the Giants.
Now Rich Aurelia stepping in for the Giants with 2 out and nobody on. Aurelia, a strikeout victim, his first time up. John Lackey had a tough second inning. He worked awfully hard trying to have a 1-2-3 third, and Aurelia takes inside, ball 1, and that ball hit Benji Molina. Not sure how he missed that one. Well, maybe we can see it if we see a replay. We'll take a look at it right now as Aurelia just kind of checked his swing, and oh, I see, the ball hit Molina's glove. He didn't catch it. It came off his glove and hit him in the groin.
And he was probably seeing a few stars right there.
I'm not sure how that ball escaped his glove, but I know this. Jose Molina over in the dugout got a good chuckle out of it.
Nice brother.
Here's the pitch to Aurelia. Breaking ball hit in the air into left field. It's playable. Garrett Anderson's right there, and Lackey has a 1-2-3 third. The Giants are gone in order, and at the end of 2.5, Angels 1, Giants 1 on the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network. Who walked his first time up, will lead off the 3rd inning against Livan Hernandez. Eckstein hitting .308 in the series. The pitch from Hernandez is up high for ball 1. Eckstein, Erstad, and Salmon, the top 3 in the Angels order here in the 3rd. Hernandez goes into his windup, and the 1-0 pitch to Eckstein. That's in there for a called strike. 2 hits for the Giants, 1 for the Angels. The Angels 1 hit A double in the gap by Benji Molina drove in their run. The Giants scored on a sacrifice fly by Reggie Sanders. The 1-1 pitch to David Eckstein is lined into left field. Bonds toward the line, plays it on a hop. Base hit for Eckstein. The Angels get the leadoff man on in the third, and we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
You're listening to the Anaheim Angels on Talk Radio AM570 KLAC Los Angeles. Home of Clark Howard, weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m.
Eckstein 1 for 1, and Erstad coming up. Bonds has a habit of playing a ball on the hop with his bare hand. He did it there, and he almost gave Eckstein second base because he dropped it. He did it last night, and he did give Garrett Anderson second base when he dropped it. Now Erstad at the plate. In the same situation in the first inning, Erstad bunted Eckstein to second. Hernandez drives Eck back with a throw. Erstad taking a look down at Ron Renicky to see if the bunt is on again. Snow holding Eckstein on. Nobody out in the bottom of the third. The game tied at 1. The total's identical. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors apiece. The stretch and the pitch to Erstad. Fastball outside, ball 1. Erstad looks like he's getting ready for the winter as his beard is coming in. 1 ball and no strikes to Darren.
Yeah, the photo of him up on the Jumbotron board, he's clean shaven. Anything but in reality.
Here's the stretch by Hernandez. The 1-0 to Erstad. A strike on the outside part of the plate. Hernandez does a good job of changing speeds. That one has the arm motion of a fastball, but it only came in at 79 miles an hour. 1 ball, 1 strike to Erstad. Eckstein at first. Nobody out, bottom of the third. The game tied at 1. Salmon on deck for the Angels. Livan Hernandez, a picture of concentration as he looks in at Santiago. The 1-1 to Erstad is hit in the air into left field. That's going to drop in front of Bonds. Back-to-back base hits as Bonds one-hops it and gets it back in. Eckstein and Erstad start the third inning with singles. That time Bonds did play it with his glove.
That hit by Erstad is 25th in the postseason, and that ties the all-time postseason record. Marquise Grissom also had 25 hits in one postseason.
1995. Santiago goes out to talk to Hernandez. The Angels have started the third inning with base hits. And now Tim Salmon at the plate. Salmon walked his first time up. The Angels had first and second, 1 out in the first inning and were denied. They have first and second, nobody out here in the third. And Salmon up there. Hernandez checks the runners. The pitch to Tim. Breaking ball low and away, ball 1. They had Salmon swinging and missing at that pitch in his first at-bat, but Tim did wind up with a walk.
This is a situation, if you were somewhere else in your lineup, you might be thinking bunt, but Salmon, the meat of the order, that's not going to happen. He did not have a sacrifice bunt all season.
Hernandez has been getting himself in a little trouble. Of the 12 batters he's faced, he's only thrown a first pitch strike to 3 of them. And that's a crucial pitch. Here he comes 1-0 to Salmon, and he missed again. 2 balls and no strikes. Mickey Hatcher already has the rally cap in his hand. He kind of looks like a guy with his hat in his hand on a street corner, asking for change the way he holds it out.
Oh, he's looking for hits, not change.
Yep. But he could go collect in the stands at a Little League game, too. 2 balls and no strikes to Salmon. Hernandez delivers, and it's grounded foul. Right over towards the Angel dugout. Sal Fasano, the backup catcher, who is not active for this series. Standing there up on the top step, had that ball come to him. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike to Tim Salmon. With 2 men on and nobody out here in the bottom of the third. In a 1-1 tie, the Angels trying to break through and get their first lead of the night. Hernandez in a jam and working slowly, as you might expect, with a lot of pressure on each pitch. Meanwhile, the crowd making a ton of noise and just waiting to explode if Salmon gets a big hit. Eckstein at second, Erstad at first. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Salmon. Breaking ball swung on and missed. That's that pitch that they tried to get him on the first pitch, but he didn't go for it. They're throwing him breaking balls low and away, and Salmon unable to connect. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Garrett Anderson on deck for the Angels. They play Salmon straight away. Lofton is about as straight away as you can get, and deep. 2-2 to Tim Salmon. Hernandez ready. There goes Eckstein. Oh, and the pitch hits Salmon. Got him on the right hand. Hernandez did not mean to do that, and Salmon might be hurt. He was out on the disabled list earlier this year when he was hit on the hand by a pitch, and that one appeared to maybe get him on the fingers as they were wrapped around the bat, and that can hurt. Ned Burgert, the trainer, goes right out there. Salmon is removing the batting glove from his right hand. Eckstein got a big jump. He was trying to steal third base. And Salmon is hit by the pitch. Trying to bend his fingers now as Burgert takes a look at it. That's going to load the bases with nobody out, and oh man, that did hit. As we see the replay, it hit Salmon right in the fingers that were wrapped around the bat on the top hand, the right hand. That's his throwing hand. So if it is too swollen and too sore, he would have to come out of the game. He's not going to come out of the game. And the Angels have a big threat going. Dave Righetti, the Giant pitching coach, has gone to the mound to talk to Hernandez. The Angels have the bases loaded with nobody out in the third inning and a chance, a big chance, to take the lead. And I don't mean just a 1-run lead. They could really cash in right here.
When Salmon was hit by a pitch earlier this season in Toronto, it was on the other hand, the left hand.
Garrett Anderson at the plate. Garrett lined into a double play his first time up. The pitch to him, a fastball right in there, strike 1. Hernandez does start Garrett with a strike after getting a talk from Righetti. Eckstein at third, Erstad at second, Salmon at first. Chad Zerbe and Jay Witasic already up in the Giants bullpen. Hernandez is in trouble.
Boy, what an opportunity right here for the Angels. Garrett Anderson, the top run producer on the club, one of the best RBI men in the American League all season, and here he bats with the bases loaded, nobody out.
He has driven in 3 runs in the World Series, hitting .276. He does not have an extra base hit. The count 0-1 to him. The pitch by Hernandez up high and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gloss is on deck, so the Angels have the table set. They have the bases full, nobody out, and they have Garrett Anderson and Troy Gloss coming up in a 1-1 tie in the third inning. The infield is back for the Giants. They'll give up the go-ahead run if they can get a double play. Hernandez 1-1 to Garrett Anderson. Here's the pitch to him. A line drive down the right field line. That's headed into the corner. Sanders is over to play it. Eckstein's in. Erstad's in. Here comes Salmon. He scores. Garrett Anderson clears the bases with a double into the corner and right, and the Angels lead 4-1. crowd has been waiting to ignite, and listen to them as Garrett Anderson gets his first extra base hit of the World Series. Now Reggie Sanders is talking to right field line umpire Tim McClellan. I think he might be saying, hey, somebody touched that ball leaning out of the stands. But he's not going to get that call. We'll see as we watch the replay whether or not anybody touched it. But Garrett has a bases loaded double, and there is still nobody out in the third inning.
Well, you were only going to hold him down so long. He's been Mr. Clutch all season for the Angels, and boy, what a huge hit that was there to clear the bases. Now the walk lost intentionally.
Boy, you're not kidding, and now you hear the boos as Troy Gloss gets the intentional walk. That'll put runners at first and second, still nobody out. They'll pitch to Fulmer, and I wonder if Dusty will go right to the bullpen right now and bring in left-hander Chad Zerbe to pitch to Fulmer, because Hernandez is not having a great outing now. He got out of a jam rather luckily in the first inning when Anderson lined into a double play. There's ball 4 to Gloss, and here comes Baker. So he is not going to hesitate. He'll go to the pen right now. He has the left-hander Chad Zerbe ready. And the Anaheim Angels have scored 3 runs in the bottom of the third inning. They have a 4-1 lead with nobody out and 2 men on. Hernandez hanging his head as he walks slowly to the dugout. This pitching change is brought to you by Geico. One 15-minute call can save you up to 15% on car insurance. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. Angels 4, Giants 1, bottom of the third. We're back in a moment on the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network. Zerbe set, he delivers to Fulmer, and it's rolled toward first but foul. Fulmer flied out to center field, fairly deep to Lofton his first time up. The Angels have Anderson at second and Gloss at first. Zerbe has a postseason win. 1-0. He's pitched 5 innings.
Angels knocked out Hernandez in the 4th inning in his first World Series start, knock him out in the 3rd inning tonight. He had been one of the most successful post-game pitchers of all time, postseason pitchers.
There's a ground ball to shortstop. Aurelia goes to Kent for 1, on to first, not in time. Arriving safely at third is Garrett Anderson. It's a 6-4 force play. Fulmer reaching on the fielder's choice. 1 out, runners at first and third, and the Angels with a chance here with a fly ball to get another run home as Scott Spezio steps in. Angels 4, Giants 1 in the bottom of the third. We talked about everybody being eligible to pitch in a game like this. Starting pitcher Kirk Reeder is up in the Giants bullpen now. Spezio, a switch hitter, will bat right-handed against Zerbe. The Angels lead 4-1 here in the bottom of the third inning.
I'm sure there are a lot of Giants fans wondering why Reeder didn't start Game 7 of the World Series tonight.
Here's the stretch by Zerbe. The pitch to Spezio, down and in, ball 1. Santiago going down to his knees to make sure that ball does not get by him. With Anderson at third base, Fulmer at first, and 1 out in the third. The Angels would love to get that run in from third base. The Giants can score them in bunches, and they have Kent and Bonds as the first 2 up in the 4th. Zerbe steps off of first and steps off the mound and looks Fulmer back to first.
Scott Spezio could bring in that runner at third base, Garrett Anderson. Spezio would get his 20th RBI of this postseason, and that would be the most ever by a player in a single postseason.
A balloon came out of the seats in center field into Spezio's line of sight, so he calls time and backs out of there. Kenny Lofton goes to get it. and tosses it over the fence.
Spezio has just been unconscious in this postseason with runners in scoring position. He's been up 11 times in this postseason with someone in scoring position. He's had 7 hits in those 11 times up.
1 ball and no strikes to him. Runners on the corners with 1 out for the Angels. Zerbe sets, he delivers. Spezio grounds it to third base. Bell fields it fair, comes home, and Anderson is tagged out. Garrett was running on contact. He is thrown out at the plate. So there's a big out for the Giants. It's a fielder's choice. Spezio at first base with 2 outs. Fulmer moves to second, but they erase Garrett Anderson at home. And with 2 out and 2 on, here's Benji Molina. A big out for the Giants.
Boy, what a job Zerbe has done since coming in.
That was a nice play by Bell, too. He had to throw that over Garrett's head to the catcher, Santiago. Benji Molina doubled into the gap in left center field to drive in the Angels' first run tonight. Zerbe checks the runners. Here's the pitch to Benji. Fastball down and in, ball 1. Molina hit .245 in the regular season. He's hitting .250 in the postseason. The run he drove in the second inning was his 6th RBI of the postseason. Chad Zerbe has his sign, checks the runners. Here's the 1-0 to Benji Molina. Swing and a miss. Chasing an outside fastball, 1-1. Fulmer at second, Spezio at first. The Angels have scored 3 times in the third, trying to get more now with 2 outs. Livan Hernandez left to sit alone in the Giants dugout. The 1-1 to Benji, a hard hit ball right to Kent. The second baseman gobbles it up and gets him. So the Angels settle for 3 runs. On 3 hits, there were no Giant errors and 2 left. After 3 innings, the Angels 4, the Giants 1. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
All right, thanks, Rory. First batter up for the Giants is Jeff Kent, who at his first time up flied out to Tim Salmon out on the warning track. Lackey has retired the last 5 batters in a row. Check the Giants on a run and 2 hits. First pitch, that's cut on and fouled back to the upper deck out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Kent, when he faced John Lackey in Game 4 of the World Series, went 0 for 2 against him. Barry Bonds waiting on deck, and then Benito Santiago, the meat of the order here for San Francisco. 0-1 pitch. That's right in there. Good breaking ball. And Lackey jumps in front, 0-2. Big John's been throwing strikes tonight. He's thrown 58 pitches, and he has twice as many strikes as balls. 34 pitches have been strikes, 16 out of the strike zone. He's way in front, 0-2 on Kent. Right-hander against right-hander, 0-2 pitch. He got him, struck him out. He took that pitch right down the heart of the plate. Kent is out looking. Lackey was strikeout number 3. He's retired the last 6 in a row. And here's Bonds, and it appears the Angels will pitch to him. Bonds led off the Giants' second inning, and he lined out to David Eckstein on the right side of the infield. Here's the pitch, and the first one misses low for a ball. The count 1 ball, no strikes. Bonds in the World Series hitting just under .500. He's 7 for 15. 4 of the 7 hits have been home runs. 1-0 pitch, and he takes that one low. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Lackey hasn't walked any tonight. He's recorded 3 strikeouts. He walked Bonds intentionally all 3 times he faced him in the start in Game 4 at Pac Bell Park. Infield is backed up on that right side. The pitch, and that's down the heart of the plate. Fastball in there. 2-1 the count on Barry Bonds. Bonds at age 38 won the National League hitting crown this year. The pitch, there he grounds one on the left side. Diving stop by Gloss. By the time he throws, it's late, and it'll be an infield hit. Now Gloss playing out there in the shortstop area, even though he was shaded more towards second. He had a dive to his right to stop that one, and Bonds easily beat the high throw. So Barry Bonds has a single. He's on with 1 out. Santiago, the catcher, will be the next batter. Benito has a base hit his only time up in this game. He has been some kind of an Iron Man for the Giants in the postseason, having played in every inning of every one of their postseason games. The pitch, that one's in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Santiago catching all 141 innings of postseason for the Giants prior to tonight. Right-hander against right-hander. Santiago swaying the bat, now has it upright. Lackey is ready. 0-1 pitch. That's a line shot into left center field for a base hit. Bonds will move up to second, and on at first base with a 1-out single with Santiago. So they have 2 on with 1 out, and JT Snow will be the next batter. Kirk Reeder is still warming up for the Giants in their bullpen, so we'll see if they bring in Reeder when the Angels step up in the bottom of this inning, the bottom of the 4th. The Angels bullpen is quiet right now. Lackey's allowed 4 hits so far in 3 1/3 innings. 2 of the hits coming back to back here in the 4th. Angels have Ramon Ortiz available in the bullpen, although no one is warming up just yet. Here's the pitch on Snow. That one is low and inside for a ball. The count 1 ball, no strikes. JT Snow, now 34 years old, did not hit that much during the regular season. Batting .246, and for a while this year he lost his spot at first base for the Giants. But he has stepped up his play in the postseason. The pitch, that's in there, a strike. 1-1 the count. Lackey has now thrown 59 pitches as he works with 1 out here in the 4th. Infield is at double play depth. The 1-1 on Snow. He lines one to center field right at Erstad, and he'll make the catch in left center. Easy out, 2 gone. Reggie Sanders will be the next batter. Sanders has driven in the Giants' only run tonight with a sac fly. He got that RBI back in the 2nd inning. The Giants had a 1-0 lead in this game, but the Angels lead it 4-1 here in the 4th. Angels already knocking out the Giants starter Livan Hernandez. Lackey trying to get the final out, prevent those runners from crossing the plate. Runners at first and second, 2 away. The pitch on Sanders, and that one a little bit low for a ball. The count 1-0. Reggie Sanders is a dangerous hitter in this situation because he hits for power, even though he's been batting out of the number 7 slot most of the postseason. And they have Bell waiting on deck, another guy with good power who's been hitting 8th. 1-0, and there's a swing and a miss. That was a high fastball that he challenged Sanders with and blew it by him. Talked earlier in this World Series, Reggie Sanders was a player the Angels were interested in the offseason. Bill Stoneman was trying to sign him to be a DH for the Angels, but Sanders wanted to play outfield full time, and so he eventually signed with the Giants. They had a spot open in the outfield for him. The pitch, a swing and a miss, another fastball. 1-2 the count. Let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
You're listening to Talk Radio, AM570 KLAC Los Angeles, home of the Anaheim Angels.
Fans are on their feet, trying to channel some of their energy to Big John Lackey. Sanders will strike out. 1-2 the count on him. Lackey is ready, and the next pitch. That one's low and away. Came in with a breaking ball and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now Benji Molina will go out and have a word with John Lackey as they talk about the next pitch to Reggie Sanders. Those two meeting out in front of the mound. Now the home plate umpire Jerry Crawford is going to speed things up. Angels do not have any action in the bullpen, but both Molina and Lackey want to be on the same page on this next pitch. Again, Sanders a dangerous hitter in a situation like this because he represents the tying run at the plate. And he has hit a couple of home runs here in the World Series. So everyone is set except Sanders. Lackey was ready to come in, and then Sanders asked for time. As if he hadn't waited long enough, he wanted to wait a little bit more. So a little bit of a cat and mouse game going on between pitcher and hitter. 4-1 Angels. We're in the 4th. Here's the 2-2. Cut on, and that one's fouled off right by the batter waiting on deck, David Bell. When the Angels step up in the bottom of the 4th, it'll be Kennedy, Eckstein, and Erstad. 9, 1, and 2 in the order. And we'll see what the Giants do pitching-wise if they continue with Zerby or if they go to Reeder, who had been warming up. Ivan Hernandez, their starter, in 2 innings tonight, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, and walked 4. Second rough outing for him against the Angels here in the World Series. And now, once again, Sanders asking for time. He taps the plate with the bat. Back in the batter's box. 2 outs, 2 on. The 2-2 pitch. It's popped in the air into right field. Should be an easy play. Salmon is under, waiting, and squeezes. That'll end the inning. John Lackey with a yell as he comes off the mound. He pitched out of some trouble in the inning. The Giants fail to score. In the inning, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. Their 3rd pitcher of the night. First batter up is Adam Kennedy, left-hander against left-hander. The pitch from Reeder, and that one is in there for a strike. 0-1. Zerby worked 1 inning in relief, retired all 3 batters he faced. No walks, no strikeouts. And the 0-1 pitch, and jammed was Adam. He fouls that one off over by the Angels dugout on the third base side. It's 0-2.
Dusty Baker is counting on Reeder not only to pitch well here in this inning, but maybe for 3 or 4 innings. He would really like Reeder to settle this game down, give the Giants a chance to come back.
Reeder, a guy that will not overwhelm you with velocity. Fastball top out around 86, 87. He'll throw a sinker, a curve. Got a very good breaking ball. Changeup. 0-2 pitch. That one's low and outside. And the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's kind of a touch and feel guy, a location pitcher, if you will. And when he's able to locate the off-speed pitches, he can be tough. 1-2 delivery. Ball smacked foul over on the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Adam Kennedy flied out to center. His only time up tonight in Game 7 of the World Series. The Angels leading this game 4-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th. The winner, the 2002 World Series champs. The 1-2 pitch, and that's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Giants got the first run tonight. They scored in the top of the second. Angels matched that run in the inning and then scored 3 in the third. 2-2 pitch. That one low and away on Adam. The count runs full. 3-2.
There's no way Mike Scioscia's content with a 3-run lead this early in the game. If he gets Kennedy on, if he gets men on, he can be aggressive now.
See what gives on the 3-2. Here it comes on Adam. He swings and misses that one. He chased that high pitch, struck him out. So Reeder gets Kennedy. Looked like that pitch was a fastball there. It was only 84 miles per hour, but again, Reeder, a guy that's not going to blow you away with velocity. He's going to try to keep you off balance by mixing up the pitches, and he was able to sneak that fastball by Kennedy.
That was a hittable pitch. Kennedy's probably a little upset with himself. That basically was a fastball down the middle.
So here's David Eckstein. David with a single and a walk. 1 for 1 the pitch. He takes that one in there for strike 1. 0-1 the count. One strike delivery. And Eckstein looks that one over. It misses. Count even. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one is lifted in the air into left field, but Bonds is there. He'll reach up and put it away, and that will be the second out. Aaron Erstad will be the batter. Well, we were mentioning when Reeder faced the Angels in Game 4 of the World Series that he's referred to by his teammates as Woody's, a dead ringer for Woody from the movie Toy Story, and he likes that nickname, does Reeder. He proudly displays a Woody doll in his locker back at Pac Bell Park. His teammate Jeff Kent, talking about Reeder and his big ears, says that hitters are too busy laughing up there to hit him. There's a pitch that misses for ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes. But Reeder takes it all in stride. Good-natured guy, very popular with his fellow Giant teammates. Very well respected in their clubhouse. 1-0 pitch. That one's tapped foul back behind home. 1 ball and 1 strike. Erstad has a sacrifice bunt, a single, and he scored a run. He's 1 for 1 tonight in Game 7 of the World Series. 4-1 Angels, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th.
Erstad sure looks different with the way that beard's coming in, doesn't he?
He does.
Looks like he's heading directly to the mountains after the series.
The 1-1 pitch. And that one is a pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reeder waiting for Erstad to move back in the box. Now Darren is in there. And the 1-2 pitch. He got him, swung on and missed. He chased the pitch, went fishing after a breaking ball that was low and away out of the strike zone. The inning is over on the strikeout. So a very strong inning by Reeder, who sets down the side in order with a pair of strikeouts. No runs, hits her. That's fouled back, a first pitch fastball back to the screen. 0-1 the count. Well, there's been a long history of pitchers in the postseason working on 3 days rest, not pitching effectively, but so far so good for 24-year-old John Lackey. The pitch. That one is a strike on the outside corner. 0-2 the count. Earlier in the postseason, the Angels got a solid start from Jared Washburn in the postseason, and banking that Lackey can do it here in Game 7 of the World Series. 0-2 on Bell, the pitch. He takes that fastball up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bell, in the game that Lackey started against them in Game 4 of the World Series in San Francisco, Bell was 0 for 2 against John Lackey. He's had a good postseason, though. The pitch, and he nubs that one on the first base side, foul across the line. So the count holding at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Infield is back. The outfield is straight away. Both teams with 4 hits, but the Angels have scored 4 runs and lead it 4-1. KLAC has a new baseball and a new sign from Benji Molina. 1-2 pitch. That one bounced in, and the count even. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. KLAC has thrown 71 pitches tonight. The Angels can get John Lackey through this 5th inning. Anything after that would be a bonus tonight, especially on 3 days rest. He's ready. Here's the 2-2. And that's low and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, after John had gotten way in front here against David Bell, the last thing he wants to do is let him off the hook. So this next pitch, a very important pitch for Lackey as he battles their first man up here in the 5th inning. Pedro Feliz waits on deck. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and that one is lined into left center field. Erstad coming in hard, dives and catches it. Darren Erstad with one of so many great diving catches for the Angels this season. You can put stars around that one. That's the first out here in the 5th. You kind of get spoiled watching Erstad leave his feet so often out there in center. They just showed the replay of that one on the Jumbotron board, and the fans liked it better the second time around. Here's the pitch on Feliz, and that one is a breaking pitch that missed for a ball. To count 1 ball and no strikes. Feliz's first time up, grounded out to Troy Gloss. 1-0 pitch. There's a swing and a miss at a high fastball. 1-1. Dusty Baker was asked before the game tonight why start Pedro Feliz. He had only 4 at-bats in the entire postseason and just 2 at-bats here in the World Series, and he starts in Game 7. Dusty said they don't know a whole lot about Pedro, so maybe that'll be an edge for him. And Dusty Baker very high on this young man, although he really hasn't factored in much in the postseason. He's had 5 postseason at-bats now without a hit. 2 balls and 1 strike. Feliz during the regular season with the Giants batted .253. He had 2 homers, 13 runs batted in. Right-handed batter. Lackey set the 2-1. Feliz swings and misses. Count even, it's 2-2. Dusty Baker also mentioning that he felt that Feliz's swing was conducive against a pitcher like Lackey, with times struggles against right-handed batters. 2-2. That one's lifted foul on the right side, back upstairs and out of play. So the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the 5th inning, the 7th and deciding game of this 2002 World Series. It's 4-1 Angels. 2-2 pitch. Got him. Swung on and missed. That breaking ball ate him up, struck him out. Four strikeouts for Lackey. 2 away here in the 5th. Kenny Lofton, the batter. With each out, that's 1 less the Giants have available. Down by 3 runs in this ball game. And if Lackey gets Lofton, the Giants will have just 12 outs left in this game. The pitch, and that one is a breaking ball that missed low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. The Angels playing in their first World Series, trying to win their first World Series. 1-0 the count. The next pitch, and that one misses inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. The last 3 teams making their first trip to the World Series won that World Series. Toronto did it when they were playing in the World Series for the first time in '92. The Marlins did it in their only appearance in '97. And, of course, the Diamondbacks last year beating the Yankees. That's fouled back behind the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lofton tonight, a couple of groundouts, 0 for 2. Lackey ready, and the 2-1 delivery on him. He hits it hard but foul over on the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. When the Angels come up in the bottom of this 5th inning, Salmon, Anderson, and Gloss, the meat of the order against Kirk Reeder. Fans on their feet rooting on Big John Lackey. He's set. Here's the 2-2 on Lofton. He checks his swing on that one. And the Angels wanting an appeal on it. They'll get one, but the third base umpire, Mike Winters, says that Lofton was holding. Mike Scioscia not too happy about that. He thought that Lofton might have committed on that pitch. We'll watch the replay of it. And I don't know. He checked whether or not he went around. So they count 3-2. Rich Aurelia would be up next. 2 outs, nobody on. Lofton backs out of the box. Now, one of the keys so far for Lackey in this game, as opposed to his start against him in Game 4, the way he's handled both Lofton and Aurelia. The 3-2 pitch. That's low. He walked him. And then Lofton kind of defiantly flicks his bat in the batter's box. So he's on with the 2-out walk. That is the first one surrendered by John Lackey. And now we're going to have a meeting at the mound. The Angels do not have any action. Brendan Donnelly has gotten up, though, in the bullpen. Bud Black is out there to have a word with John Lackey. Lackey doesn't figure to go 9 innings tonight. And the Angels were hoping just to get 5 solid ones out of him. And he's 1 out away from doing just that. Donnelly, who's loosening up, has been terrific in the World Series, making 4 relief appearances in the World Series, getting a win in one of them. And he has not allowed a single hit in the World Series in 4 relief appearances. So the meeting wraps up. Aurelia, the batter, he's gone 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. He was 3 for 3 against Lackey in Game 4 of the World Series. 2 outs, a runner on at first, 4-1 Angels, and a toss over to first. Back to the bag goes Lofton. Lofton has stolen 5 bases in the World Series. He's not been caught. He's 5 for 5 on stolen base tries. Lackey getting a new baseball from the home plate umpire Jerry Crawford. Hope you're enjoying the action tonight wherever you're listening to Angels World Series action. We're in the crucial 7th and deciding game with the Angels leading 4-1 here in the 5th. Terry Smith along with Rory Markus, Darren Chan, our producer engineer, Frank Laffarelli back at our flagship station in Los Angeles, AM570 KLAC. First pitch on Aurelia, and he pops it in the air. Shallow right field. Salmon is there, waiting, and squeezes for the out. The inning is over. Another solid inning of work by the rookie John Lackey. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk, and they leave a runner on. The bottom of the 5th is next. 4-1 Angels on the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network. We'll lead it off. He's walked. He's also been hit by a pitch. Here's the first delivery, and that one is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. The left-hander set for the Giants. Here's the 1-0 on Tim Salmon. He chops one out towards the shortstop. Aurelia gobbles it up, throws out Salmon for an easy out. 1 away. Well, if Reeder continues to pitch effectively, there will be a lot of people that will question Dusty Baker's decision to go with Livan Hernandez in Game 7 as opposed to Reeder, who could have pitched on 3 days rest like KLAC did tonight. Here's the pitch on Garrett Anderson, and that one is a pitch that is in there for a strike. It would appear that KLAC's night is over. He got a lot of handshakes and a hug from Mike Socia in the dugout. There's a swing and a miss, and the count 0-2. Brendan Donnelly is warming up in the Angels bullpen, so when we get to the 6th inning, we will likely see the Angels go to the pen. And if that's the case, what a job Big John did tonight in his 5-inning stint. The 0-2 on Garrett. That one's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the key for KLAC tonight was the fact that he threw strikes. He normally does, and he did it tonight in a Game 7 of the World Series. The pitch, that's low. 2-2 the count, as opposed to Livan Hernandez, who did not throw strikes. He was getting behind batters. He walked 4 in 2 innings, hit a batter. His control was very spotty tonight. 2-2 the count on Garrett. The pitch. He grounds one sharply but right to first, fielded by Snow, and he will easily get to the bag in front of Anderson, and that's the 2nd out. So the Angels have had their first 2 batters retired easily here in the 5th. Troy Glaus will be the next batter. That's 8 straight Angels retired since Glaus was intentionally walked back in the Angels' 3-run 3rd inning. So the Angels offense has disappeared here in the middle part of this ball game now, but the Halos still have a 3-run lead. You don't want to get too complacent, though, because the Giants are a team that can come back, and we've seen them do it in this World Series, and we're certainly aware of the way they can score runs, as they demonstrated earlier in this World Series, scoring 16 in 1 ball game. 0-1 the count on Glaus. The pitch was in there. Now Troy asks for time as he steps out of the batter's box, and Reeder will walk off the mound as he looks back towards home plate. Now gets back set on the rubber and looks in for the sign. Reeder is a quick worker. Here's the 0-1, and that one is outside for ball. 1-1. Hitters will normally step out of the box to slow Reeder down. He's a guy that likes to get that ball from his catcher and throw it right back to the plate. The 1-1 on Troy. That's outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Glaus has had a good postseason, batting .350 in the postseason with 7 home runs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the next pitch, and that one is outside. It's 3-1. Now Santiago will go out to the mound and have a word with Reeder. Let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
The Anaheim Angels on Talk Radio AM570 KLAC Los Angeles. Home of Gil Gross mornings 5 till 9 a.m.
Santiago is back behind the plate. And we'll see what happens once Troy Glaus gets back in the box. He's in there. Here's the 3-1 on Glaus, and he takes that one outside. He walked him. So Troy is on. Angels have a 2-out base runner. Second time Glaus has walked tonight. And overall, the Angels hitters have shown a lot of patience at the plate. Have walked 5 times in the first 5 innings of this game. Brad Fulmer will be the next batter. It'll be lefty against lefty. Looking in for the sign is Reeder. He's ready, and the pitch. That breaking ball is low. 2 ball, make it 1 ball and no strikes. Last night, the Angels had the biggest comeback ever by a team facing elimination in the World Series. The pitch, and that's in there for a strike, 1-1. And that comeback win has carried over tonight to the point where we're in the 5th inning. The Angels have a 4-1 lead. This game's still far from over, but the Angels right now in a very good spot. Here's the 1-1 on Fulmer. He nubs that one foul, and Reeder jumps in front. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Some of the celebrities on hand tonight. Well, we had Melissa Etheridge sing the national anthem. She did a fine job. Jim Belushi is here tonight. Katie Segal here. John Travolta. Governor Gray Davis is here. I'm not sure if he's rooting for the Angels or the Giants. 1-2. That one's low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Home plate umpire Jerry Crawford getting a fresh supply of baseballs. If Fulmer gets on, Scott Spezio, who's been a hot hitter in the postseason and series, waits on deck. 2 outs. Troy Gloss is the base runner at first. Reeder is set. 2-2 on Fulmer. The pitch. He takes it low. So the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fans, as they've done every game in this postseason here at Edison Field, making tremendous noise. The pitch, that's bounced back to the mound. Reeder jumps up, has it, throws to first in time. The inning is over on the comebacker. Good play by the pitcher, Kirk Reeder. No runs, no hits, no errors, a walk. The Angels leave a base runner. We're headed to the 6th inning. Brendan Donnelly is getting ready to make his 5th appearance in the World Series and his 3rd straight appearance. He was the winning pitcher in relief last night as he worked a scoreless, hitless inning. So he will take over. The Giants in the World Series have not had a hit against Donnelly. They are 0 for 17 against him. He's ready to start off the 6th. The pitch on Kent. And it's up and in on Jeff Kent for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. So Donnelly, just as he did last night when he came in to work the 8th inning, he came in high and tight on Santiago. He comes in high and tight here on Kent. 1 ball, no strikes. The big guns are up for the Giants here. The meat of the order, Kent, Bonds, and Santiago. The pitch. And did Kent go around? Yes, he did. He actually nicked that ball into the mitt of Benji Molina. That was a foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike on the check swing. John Lackey went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, a run it was earned. He walked 1, struck out 4. He was terrific tonight. The pitch. And a hard hit ground ball right to third. Fielded by Gloss. He throws across the diamond in time. 1 away in the 6th inning. Bonds will be the batter, and it would appear that the Angels will pitch to him. Shift is on. The Angels have pitched 2 Bonds each time up so far tonight in Game 7 of the World Series. He lined out his first time up. He got an infield single his last time up. Here's the pitch, and he hits one sharply foul on the right side. No balls and 1 strike. Well, the Giants and the Giants fans can't say that the Angels didn't go after Bonds here in this 7th and deciding game. They have pitched to him every time up so far. 0-1 the count. The next pitch, and that one is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's amazing. Every pitch that's thrown to Bonds, you see the flash bulbs going around the stadium. Every single pitch, and it was that way in San Francisco as well. Here's the 1-1. He skies one infield. Let's see who calls. Eckstein right now near the second base bag. He'll make the catch. And Donnelly retires Bonds on an infield pop out. Santiago, the batter. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Here's the pitch on him, and he checks on that one. Did he go around? Yes. 0-1 the count. When the Angels come up in the bottom of the 6th, the bottom third of the order, Spezio, Molina, and Kennedy against Reeder, who's done a nice job in his first 2 innings of relief. Donnelly is set from the stretch. Here's the 0-1, and that one's foul tipped off the mask of the catcher, Benji Molina. And the count 0-2. Benji taking that mask off for a moment, inspecting it, and now putting it back on and saying something to the batter, Benito Santiago, a fellow catcher. Might have been saying, come on, man, we played the same position here. You can't be doing that to me. We're brothers. 0-2 the count. The pitch. And that one a little bit low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. If Santiago gets on, Snow would be up next. If Donnelly retires him, the inning is over. 4-1, the Angels. We're in the top of the 6th inning, Game 7 of the World Series. 2 outs. The 1-2 pitch. A little bit inside and low. 2-2 the count. Santiago is a free swinger. Rarely walks. Been a guy who's been a very solid player for a long time. 37 years old. 2-2 pitch. He lays off that one outside. So the count full. 3-2 on Benito. The Giants are his 7th big league club. He was an all-star in the National League this year at age 37 and an everyday catcher at that age. Count full. The payoff pitch. That one just missed. A little bit low. So Santiago is on with a 2-out walk. And now the batter will be JT Snow. Snow has hit the ball hard both times up a single. He's also lined out. Angels have a 4-1 lead. That's been the score since the Angels got 3 in the bottom of the 3rd. We're in the top of the 6th right now with 2 outs. Snow having a good postseason, batting .313 in the postseason. Left-handed batter, Donnelly is set. He delivers. And the first pitch in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Fans, Game 7 of the World Series is brought to you by Thermacare. Feel the difference between can't and can. 0-1 pitch. Snow drills a ball down the right field side. That one is going to take a bounce and hit off the wall. Going into third base and being held is Santiago as the relay comes to the plate. Snow has a double. And runners are on at second and third with 2 outs. So the Giants have something brewing here with 2 outs. Reggie Sanders will be the next batter. That is the first hit that Donnelly has surrendered in 5 World Series appearances. He can get out of this inning if he gets Sanders. If Sanders gets a hit, the Giants would get right back in it. A hit here could likely score 2. Now we see Bud Black headed out to the mound. The Angels bullpen is quiet right now. And the entire Angels infield is out there. Bud Black, the battery of Donnelly and Molina, Gloss, Eckstein, Kennedy, Spezio, they're all out there as well. Bud Black continues to say something out there to Brendan Donnelly. The home plate umpire, Jerry Crawford, comes out there. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Sanders. Tom Goodwin is going to come in to pinch hit. So Reggie Sanders will be lifted, and the left-handed swinging Goodwin will bat. Goodwin in the postseason is 0 for 7. Here's the pitch. He takes that first one high for a ball to count 1 ball, no strikes. Sanders, who is lifted, drove in their only run tonight with a sac fly. Next pitch on Goodwin. That one is in there for a strike. Count even. It's now 1-1. Tom Goodwin grew up as a Giants fan. He was born in Fresno, formerly with the Dodgers. 1-1 pitch on Goodwin, and he swings and fouls that one back behind the plate. So Donnelly has jumped in front. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Tom Goodwin. Fans on their feet, rooting on Donnelly, trying to help him get out of this trouble. He's in front, of 1 ball and 2 strikes on the left-handed hitting Goodwin, who asks for time, steps out of the box. Goodwin began his big league career with the Dodgers, then he played for the Royals, Texas Rangers, Rockies, Dodgers again. There's another pitch that he fights off, fouls it back behind the plate. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count. Runners at second and third. Donnelly retired the first 2 in this inning. Then walked Santiago, a batter who rarely walks, and then gave up the double to Snow. He's had a very good postseason. He's had a lot of hits. 1 and 2 the count on the pinch hitter. The pitch, he breaks his bat and fouls the pitch off on the first base side. So Goodwin had the bat get sawed off there. He'll have to head back to his dugout to get some new lumber. This is only the 3rd time that he has batted here in the World Series. And he's looking for his first World Series hit. One ball, 2 strikes. Donnelly in his first inning of relief, in trouble. But if he gets it out here, he gets out of this trouble. The 1-2 on Goodwin. Swung on and missed. Fastball struck him out. Inning over. No runs in the inning. 1 hit, 1 walk. They leave runners at second and third. The Giants are down to their last 9 outs in Game 7 of the World Series. He's retired 6 of 7. He is not allowed to hit or run. The pitch. That one is a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 the count. Spezio tonight, a walk, a run scored, a fielder's choice. Been on base safely both times up, officially 0 for 1. The pitch. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tom Goodwin, who came in to pinch hit in the top of the inning for Sanders. He stays in the game for Sanders now in right field.
Reeder has done just what Dusty Baker hoped he would, keep him in the game. But so far the Giants have not been able to break through since that 1 run in the 2nd inning.
And watching Reeder pitch, you wonder if Dusty Baker is wondering if he should have started Reeder tonight. The pitch. That one is low. So the count 2 balls and 1 strike.
If he's not wondering that, they'll probably wonder it for him in the San Francisco papers tomorrow.
Yep. Here's the 2-1. That's cut on and fouled off on the right side. Back to the seats and out of play. 2-2 on Scott Spiezio. Don't forget, after Game 7 of the World Series, we'll have Angels report. We will have a recap of this game, some of the play-by-play highlights. And we could have a lot of things for you on our Angels report after the game. If the Angels can hold on to this lead, we could have a lot of excitement for you tonight. That one's fouled back behind the plate. 2-2 the count.
Did you bring a change of clothes just in case?
I did. And I hope I have to use the change of clothes. 2-2. That one's fouled off on the right side, back and out of play. So the count holding at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I'd hate for you to get those nice clothes you have on now messed up.
Scott Spiezio, Benji Molina, and Adam Kennedy, the batters scheduled here in the Angels' 6th inning, leading 4-1. The 2-2 on Scott. He pops one into shallow right. Good when the new right fielder is chasing. He calls everybody off. Snow and the second baseman Kennan makes the catch in fair territory and shallow right towards the line for the first out. Benji Molina will be the batter. Benji tonight has doubled in a run in his 2 times up. He's 1 for 2. The Angels went into last night's Game 6 facing elimination, and were near the brink of elimination last night, trailing 5-0 with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, but rallied to win that game and now lead Game 7 4-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch of ball, the count 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0, and that's in there on Benji. 1-1. The Angels have not had a hit since the 3rd, but the Halos lead by 3. Here's the next pitch. That's high and away. A Reader fastball, only 84 miles per hour. 2-1 the count. Infield back, outfield straight away. The 2-1 pitch. That one is a bit low. Ball 3, 3-1. Talking about the Angels facing elimination last night, there was certainly a point in that game. Get to it after the 3-1 pitch, and that ball was hit well into right center field. It is out by the wall, and that ball is off the wall. Benji will only get the second with a ringing double high off the wall in right center. Molina with his second double of the game.
He hit it off the out-of-town scoreboard, which is, of course, turned off right now. This is the only game in town. He just missed a home run. And then he almost got thrown out at second base. Boy, Lofton really gave that one an effort, didn't he? It was too high for him, but he gave it everything he had.
He went scaling the wall out there, but had no chance to catch it. It was Goodwin who played the bounce off the wall. So a runner at second as the Angels look to add on here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 out. Adam Kennedy, the batter. He's gone 0 for 2. The pitch. And he chops one on the right side. It'll get Molina to third. The throw to first in time by Kent. 4-3 on the ground out. Runner at third with 2 outs. Top of the order, David Eckstein will be the batter.
A hit right here would be huge. It kind of feels like the Angels are waiting for them. If they can add on to that lead, that's what they really want to do here. 4-1, a 3-run lead with 3 innings to play is not nearly enough.
Eckstein officially 1 for 2 tonight. A single, a walk. He's flied out. 4-1 Angels, bottom of the 6th, Game 7 of the 2002 World Series. Reader delivers on David. The pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Bell at third is up on the grass. One strike pitch on Eckstein. There's a line shot, speared by Ken. He makes the catch, diving to his right, and that saves a run right there to end the inning. Fine defensive play by Jeff Kent. The Angels are retired here in the bottom of the sixth. In the inning, no runs, one hit, no errors, and a runner left. We're headed to the seventh. Well, Brendan Donnelly is still in the ball game. He will at least begin the seventh inning. David Bell will lead it off. 4-1 Angels as we head to the seventh. Back with more play-by-play action. Here's Rory Markus.
All right, thanks a lot, Terry. Top of the seventh, 4-1 Angels. David Bell starts the seventh inning, and Donnelly's first pitch is swung on and missed. 0-1. David Bell has struck out in line to center field, hitting .309 in the postseason with a couple of home runs. 6 runs batted in. Donnelly in his second inning of work. So Mike Scioscia hoping that Donnelly can get them to the eighth. He has Bell, Felice, and Lofton due up here in the seventh. Donnelly ready. Here comes his 0-1 pitch. That's a little bit outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Angels have Scott Schoenweiss and Frankie Rodriguez each warming up side by side out in that left field bullpen.
It could be that Schoenweiss will come in and pitch to Lofton. 1 ball and 1 strike to David Bell. Donnelly ready, he delivers, and the slider's low and outside. Donnelly has held the Giant batters down to 1 for 21 in this series. He's had a great World Series. He was the winning pitcher last night. 2 balls, 1 strike to David Bell. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's hit in the air foul, left side. Way back there, very high foul ball. Deep into the seats, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bell had a good rip at it, but he was out in front, way out in front. Leading off the top of the seventh inning, the Angels with 4 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. The Giants, 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. The Angels trying to come from 3-2 down in this World Series. They won last night's game with a miraculous comeback. Tonight they've led most of the night from the third inning on. The 2-2 pitch is popped in the air foul. Molina with the mask off comes back and does not have room. It's down in the Photog well and caught by a fan who stumbles down back onto the ground after he caught it, but he has that World Series souvenir. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Donnelly's made 25 pitches in his 1+ inning of work. Of course, if they can nurse this lead into the ninth, then it would be Percy's job. But we're only in the seventh. David Bell leading the inning off for the Giants. Donnelly sets. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. A drive into left field. Back on it goes Garrett Anderson at the track. He makes the catch. Bell didn't quite get it. The crowd collectively holding its breath as Anderson went back just about with his back up against the fence. He makes the play, 1 out. Here comes Pedro Felice, the designated hitter. Felice does not have a postseason hit. Dusty Baker kind of rolled the dice and put him in as the DH tonight. He has grounded out and struck out.
That move was surprising, especially because Sean Dunston, who was their DH last night, hit a home run.
Donnelly ready. The pitch to Felice is fouled back just over to our right. Into the press box it goes, 0-1. Let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
You're listening to the Anaheim Angels on Talk Radio AM570 KLAC Los Angeles. Home of Susie Orman, weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m.
The 0-1 to Felice is waved at and missed. Good hard slider by Donnelly, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Rory Markus and Terry Smith. Our producer engineer is Darren Chan. We're in the top of the 7th inning at Edison Field in Game 7 of the World Series, and the Angels are ahead 4-1. Donnelly sets. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The pitch to Lofton is hit in the air into center field. Erstad giving ground. He reaches the track. He's going to make the catch. The Giants are gone in order in the 7th. Donnelly has a 1-2-3 inning. We have reached the 7th inning stretch, as has been our tradition in the postseason in the World Series. Into the bottom of the 7th inning, 4-1 Angels. They lead the Giants. It has been 4-1 since the 3rd, and Darren Erstad leads off the 7th. Reeder delivers a fastball down low for ball 1. Erstad 1 for 2 with a single and a sacrifice bunt tonight. He has also scored a run. Reeder winds the 1-0 pitch to Darren, outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Oh, they're really starting to anticipate it now here at Edison Field. The crowd knowing that 6 more outs is all the Angels need, but sometimes those 6 outs can be tough. They have to go through Bonds and Kent at least one more time. There's a pitch up high to Erstad, 3-0. And of course, the Angels would love to add on to this 3-run lead. It's been 4-1 since the 3rd inning. The last 3.5 innings have been scoreless. Here's the 3-0, and it's in there for a strike. Kirk Reeder, the 3rd pitcher for the Giants. He came in the 4th inning, so he has shut the Angels out for 3 innings. 3 balls, 1 strike to Erstad. Reeder delivers. Erstad bounces one to the right side. Kent has it. He'll throw him out. 1 down. 44,598 here tonight on a picture-perfect night. Temperature in the mid-60s. The stands packed. The sea of red here, and the Thunder Sticks have been going since inning 1. Tim Salmon at the plate now. Salmon has walked, been hit by a pitch, and grounded out to shortstop. Reeder delivers to him. Salmon takes a strike at the knees, 0-1. Salmon hitting .293 in the postseason. 4 home runs, 12 runs batted in. The Giants have Aurelia, Kent, and Bonds due up in the 8th inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside, they'll probably be facing Frankie Rodriguez, who is loosening up in the Angel bullpen. I'm sure Donnelly's night is done after 2 innings. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tim Salmon. Reeder winds the 1-1 pitch. That's outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. The Angels, who after 20 games this year had a 14 in the loss column, have turned it around since then, and here they are in the 7th inning of the 7th game of the 2002 World Series with a 3-run lead. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Salmon. That's low and away, ball 3.
Well, you got to wonder, Rory, how many times a team went from 41 games out of first place to winning the World Series the following year.
How many times? I would say 0.
You got it.
Here's the 3-1 pitch to Tim Salmon. A fly ball foul, right field side, out of play. And the count goes to 3-2. Garrett Anderson, who delivered a bases-loaded double that knocked in 3 runs in the 3rd inning. That's the difference in the game. He is on deck. Full count to Salmon, 3-2. Michael Eisner, of course, is here tonight. He's wearing a Mickey Mouse t-shirt and a sport coat and an Angel hat. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Struck him out looking. Salmon is furious. He only said maybe a word or 2 to Crawford, and then he goes to the dugout because he doesn't want to get tossed. Salmon thought that pitch was low. He was on his way to first base. And on the replay, it looks low. But he's out. There are 2 gone. And here's Anderson, 1 for 3, but the 1 was a big one, the 3-run double in the 3rd. That was against Hernandez, the starter. Breaking ball from Reeder outside. Ball 1. 2 out, nobody on for the Angels in the bottom of the 7th. They lead 4-1. There have been a total of only 10 hits in the game, 5 apiece. There's ball 2 to Garrett Anderson. 2 balls and no strikes. The Angel bullpen is quiet right now. I'm sure that Francisco Rodriguez is ready to go. Here comes the 2-0, a strike to Anderson. 2 balls, 1 strike to Garrett. 2 out, nobody on, 7th inning. Angels 4, Giants 1. Kurt Reeder comes back 2-1, and it's strike 2. Boy, he's done a good job. 62 pitches he's thrown now. The game 4 starter who beat the Angels did not get the start tonight. But he is looking to shut the Angels out for 4 consecutive innings here. 2-2 pitch is hit in the air into center. Lofton gives a little ground, but he has a play. And the Angels go down in order in the 7th. Now don't go anywhere because Aurelia, Kent, and Bonds are due up in the 8th. At the end of 7, the Angels 4, the Giants 1. 7th game of the World Series. A 4-1 lead in the 8th inning, and Aurelia, Kent, and Bonds due up. Frankie has 5 postseason wins and 1 postseason loss. He has 25 strikeouts in 17 2/3 innings and only 4 walks. Aurelia's 0 for 3. Rodriguez winds, and his first pitch is a fastball for a strike on the inside corner.
Frankie's velocity was down a little bit last night, so we'll kind of monitor that. His first pitch fastball there was 91, which is a little bit slower than you'll normally see his fastball. It's normally 94, 95.
Troy Percival is getting up in the Angel pen. The 0-1 pitch in there. Strike 2 called. A fastball at the knees to Aurelia. Rodriguez jumps ahead on the count, 0-2. 4-1 Angels in the 8th. Rodriguez winds and comes back 0-2, and it's swung on and missed. A wicked slider gets Aurelia. 3-pitch strikeout.
Giants are down to their last 5 outs in the World Series.
Jeff Kent at the plate for the Giants. Kent is 0 for 3, fly to right, struck out looking, and grounded to third base. Bonds, who is 1 for 3, is on deck. Rodriguez just as cool as he could possibly be, standing on the mound, chewing his gum, waiting for Kent to get in there. Frankie winds, and the pitch on the way to Kent. Fastball for a strike. 4 pitches, 4 strikes. Kent turns around to Jerry Crawford and says that was inside. Crawford shaking his head no. No balls and 1 strike to Jeff Kent.
That last fastball, 93 miles per hour.
Rodriguez into his windup. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and it's grounded foul. Good slider. Kent lucky to foul that one off, and the count is 0-2. Rodriguez, 5 pitches, 5 strikes. And the crowd just beside themselves, standing and cheering. What a roar. No balls, 2 strikes to Jeff Kent. Bonds on deck. Rodriguez winds. Here's the 0-2. Slider inside. It looked like Kent tried to turn his shoulder to get hit by that pitch.
Kind of leaned in towards the plate on that one.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Alex Ochoa has gone in the game in right field for the Angels. Frankie winds. Here's the 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He strikes out Aurelia. He strikes out Kent. 2 outs in the 8th inning, and here comes Bonds.
The Giants have 4 more outs left in this World Series.
Bonds took Rodriguez deep last time he faced him. Tonight, Barry's been held to 1 single. They've not walked him intentionally at all tonight. He's 1 for 3. He has lined out and popped up. Frankie's pitch to him. Fastball missed high, ball 1. But he went right after him. Barry Bonds hitting .356 in the postseason with 8 home runs. Rodriguez 1-0 delivery, low and away, ball 2. The shift is on. Kennedy's in shallow right field. 2 balls and no strikes to Barry Bonds. 2 out, nobody on. Top of the 8th, 4-1 Angels. Rodriguez comes back 2-0, and it's outside, ball 3, and he got that one up there at 94. Santiago on deck. 3 balls, no strikes to Bonds. And Rodriguez 3-0 pitch. Strike at the knees. Bonds had started toward first base, which just makes the crowd cheer all that much more because Barry thought it was ball 4. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 out, nobody on. Bonds waiting. Rodriguez comes back 3-1, and it's low. He walked him. Bonds gets his first walk of the night.
Well, the good news is that that might be his last at bat in the World Series if the Angels can get these final 4 outs. The thing that'll be interesting, Rory, if the Angels do win the World Series and there's still 4 more outs they need to record, Barry Bonds, I gotta think, will get a lot of votes for MVP of the World Series. Now, whether or not he gets enough to win that award remains to be seen.
Here's Benito Santiago. Bonds being held on by Spezio. Rodriguez delivers to Santiago, and the slider is grounded foul. 0-1. This is the first time in World Series history that no starting pitcher has worked at least 7 innings. It's the 12th time in World Series history there has not been a complete game.
But this is by far the best pitched game the Angels have had this World Series, and this is the game that it really counted.
No balls, 1 strike to Santiago. Bonds at first with 2 outs. Rodriguez checks him. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slider grounded foul again. Strike 2. Santiago out in front of that slider, grounding it foul over near the Angel dugout. No balls and 2 strikes, and you wonder what's going through Troy Percival's mind as he watches this. He knows that if Frankie gets out of this inning, it's up to him in the 9th.
Rory, think about this. The Angels pitchers tonight, Lackey, Donnelly, and Rodriguez, all rookies.
No balls, 2 strikes to Benito Santiago. Rodriguez set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. A check swing foul back behind the plate. Rodriguez has thrown Santiago 3 straight sliders. Has not come in with a fastball yet. Santiago has a good night going, 2 singles and a walk. He has scored the Giants' only run. He came in on a sacrifice fly by Reggie Sanders.
Game 7 of the World Series, the Angels have used nothing but rookie pitchers, and boy, have they stepped up.
0-2, Santiago backs out of there. Bonds at first base, 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. The Angels need 4 more outs. Rodriguez working out of a stretch. Molina sets up on the outside corner. Rodriguez delivers, and he struck him out! Santiago goes down swinging, and Frankie Rodriguez strikes out the side in the 8th inning. Listen to the crowd. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Angels 4, the Giants 1. Into the bottom of the 8th inning we go. The Angels 4, the Giants 1. Tim Worrell is in to pitch for San Francisco. Troy Gloss will lead it off for the Angels. Tim Worrell sets, working out of a stretch. Gloss takes, it's ball 1. Kurt Reeder did a magnificent job for the Giants. 4 innings of 1-hit relief. He walked 1 and struck out 3. 1 ball and no strikes to Troy Gloss. Tim Worrell comes back 1-0, and it's fouled off the end of the bat, rolling it down toward Alfredo Griffin at first base. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gloss to be followed by Fulmer and Spezio. Worrell in the postseason, 3-1. He's pitched 12 innings, giving up 13 hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. One ball and 1 strike to Gloss, who bats with a thunderous din coming from the seats. Here's Worrell's 1-1 pitch. Fastball in there, strike 2 called. 1-2 to Troy, who backs out of the box. Neither team has scored since the 3rd inning when the Angels' Garrett Anderson hit an RBI bases loaded double that drove in 3. The Giants and the Angels, though, have combined for 45 extra base hits, the most ever in a series. Gloss swings through it and strikes out. Out number 1. When the Giants bat in the 9th inning, they have J.T. Snow, Tom Goodwin, and David Bell due up. Brad Fulmer at the plate now. Fulmer's 0 for 3. Flied out, hit into a fielder's choice, and grounded 1 back to the pitcher. And in the owner's box, about 3 or 4 suites over to our right, Jackie Autry stands. And you wonder what she must be thinking about. Fulmer at the plate. Here's the pitch by Worrell, off speed and in there. Nice breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Angels. 1 run, 5 hits for the Giants. Fulmer waiting, 0-1. Tim Worrell sets. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball grounded toward first. Diving backhand stop by Snow, who from his knees underhands to Worrell. Boy, JT has made some great plays right where he is right now at first base in Anaheim, and he just made another one. 2 down.
Terrific play by the Gold Glover, Snow.
That brings up Scott Spezio. With 2 out and nobody on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Angels leading it 4-1. Percival just kind of standing on the mound out in the bullpen. loosening up. The pitch to Spezio, swing and a miss. 0-1. The Giants bullpen has been magnificent. They have not allowed a run to the Angels. Chad Zerbe, Kurt Reeder, and now Tim Worrell. But the Angels have held the Giants down since the second inning when they scored their only run. John Lackey, Brendan Donnelly, Frankie Rodriguez. Here's the 0-1 to Spezio. That's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Spezio hit a 3-run home run in the 8th inning last night, or the 7th inning rather, that got the Angels going. This time he pops up. Third baseman David Bell is going to make the catch. But here we go. The Angels go 1, 2, 3 in the 8th inning, and we head to the 9th. Percy is coming into the game. The Angels are 3 outs away from a world championship with the score. Angels 4, Giants 1. It's the top of the 9th inning. The Angels 4, the Giants 1. The Anaheim Angels are 3 outs away from their first baseball championship. And it's Troy Percival's job to get those 3 outs. And a former Angel favorite, J.T. Snow, leads off the 9th inning. Percy was magnificent this year. 40 saves, a 4-1 record, and a 1.92 earned run average. And this is the guy that deserves to be on the mound at this moment. J.T. Snow waits. Percy delivers, and it's outside, ball 1. Snow tonight is 2 for 3. He has a single and a double. In between those 2 at-bats, he flied out to center. Percy ready. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that's outside and high. 2 balls and no strikes. Percy, born in Fontana. 6'3", 235 pounds, 6 postseason saves, and a 3.12 earned run average. Here he comes, 2-0, and that's in there for a called strike. J.T. Snow, Tom Goodwin, and David Bell, the scheduled hitters for the Giants here in the 9th inning. Percy staring in at Benji Molina. Now he sets, and the 2-1 pitch is on the outside corner, strike 2. The crowd making a thunderous noise, and then as the pitch comes in, it's as though everyone holds their breath and there's a quiet for a second or 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Percival delivers to Snow, and it's whacked into right field. Ochoa over to play it. J.T. Snow has his 3rd hit of the ball game, and the Giants will not go easily. They have the leadoff man aboard in the 9th. Here is Tom Goodwin. Goodwin, another left-handed hitter. He pinch hit for Reggie Sanders in the 6th and struck out, facing Brendan Donnelly. The leadoff man aboard for San Francisco in the 9th inning. Percy against Goodwin. Here comes the pitch to Goodwin. Fastball in there, strike 1 called. Spezio not holding Snow on at first base. Percy sets again. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Strike 2. Goodwin showed the bunt, but he was taking, and Percy jumps ahead 0-2. You look around at the Angel fans, all standing, young and old. Those who have been with the club since 1961 and those who just signed on this year. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. A fly ball foul off to the left, out of play. No balls, 2 strikes to Tom Goodwin. And then over in the booth to our right, Jackie Autry glancing toward heaven every now and again. No balls, 2 strikes to Goodwin. Here's the stretch by Percy, and the 0-2 pitch. A ground ball to second base. Kennedy goes to second. That's all they'll get. They get the 1 out at second. And the Angels are 2 outs away. The fielder's choice goes 4-6. Goodwin is the runner at first base. 1 out in the 9th, and here is David Bell. Bell 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out in the 2nd, lined to center field in the 5th, and flied out to left field in the 7th. Spezio plays behind Goodwin at first. Bell hitting .304 in the postseason. Percy sets. Here's the pitch. Fastball a little high. Ball 1. That was a 96-mile-an-hour heater from Troy Percival. The Angels, who have come and gone in the past, some of them had to have wondered, will they ever get to the World Series? Well, they got there. And now they're 2 outs away from bringing home all the bacon. 1-0 to David Bell. There goes Goodwin. The pitch is taken down low for a ball. They let Goodwin take second base, so he does not get credit for a steal, but he does keep the Giants out of a double play. And Percy is behind on Bell, 2-0. And some of those fans who can't help but be nervous, kind of hanging on to one another. 2-0 the count to Bell. Percy sets again. Here's the 2-0 pitch. In there, a called strike. A 95-mile-an-hour fastball. The Angels in the dugout all up on the top step, trying to remain calm as Percy squints and scowls and tries to knock the Giants out. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch on the way to Bell. Fastball outside. And he's behind 3-1. And if he walks Bell, the tying run will come to the plate. 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. Angels 4, Giants 1. Edison Field, Game 7 of the 2002 World Series. Can they get 2 more outs? Percival set. Here's the 3-1. It's low. He walked him, and the Giants will bring the tying run to the plate. Bud Black is going to the mound to talk to Percival. The batter is going to be a pinch hitter for the Giants, Tsuyoshi Shinjo. Shinjo will hit. He has 1 postseason hit. He's hitting .167. And he is batting for Felice. So Shinjo coming up with runners at first and second. And 1 out in the 9th inning of Game 7. Shinjo is 1 for 6 in the postseason. This year in the regular season, he hit 9 home runs. He represents the tying run. Percy is set. The pitch to Shinjo. Fastball strike on the outside corner. Of course, this is a tough assignment for Shinjo, who was the DH in Game 1, but hasn't started since, and has only 6 at-bats in 16 postseason games. To walk up there in the 9th inning against Percy. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That's popped in the air, foul. It's going to get back out of play. Percival's ahead of him, 0-2. Kenny Lofton is on deck. Percy rubbing up the baseball as he takes a walk behind the mound. Goodwin, the runner at second base. David Bell, the runner at first. The Giants down to their last 2 outs and desperately trying to rally in the 9th inning. The Angels just trying to get to the finish line. Here it comes, 0-2. Change up outside. Oh, did he change speeds on Shinjo, but he missed outside. That pitch was not going to be hit. Shinjo could not swing at that one, but Percy missed the strike zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the crowd trying to will the Angels in. Here it comes, 1 and 2. Fouled back to the screen. An inside heater. Shinjo had a pretty good cut at it. Mike Scioscia takes his hat off, puts it back on. Just nervous energy. The Giants accept Bonds up on the top step of their dugout. Bonds is back there sitting on the bench. The count is 1 and 2 to Tsuyoshi Shinjo. Goodwin away from second, Bell from first. Troy Percival, the Angels' closer all year. He sets. His 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. 2 outs. The Angels are 1 out away from a World Series championship. 2 outs in the 9th inning, and Kenny Lofton at the plate for the Giants. Lofton's 0 for 3 tonight. He does have a walk. Troy Percival, who joined the Angels in 1995 when they were the California Angels, trying to send the Anaheim Angels to the promised land. Here's the pitch to Lofton. Fly ball center field. Erstad says he's got it. Erstad makes the catch. The Anaheim Angels are the champions of baseball. The celebration on the field begins. Mike Scioscia, Bud Black, John Lackey, Percival, Erstad, Salmon hugging, and a big pile-up out there near the first base line as the Anaheim Angels win it all. The 42-year wait comes to an end. Just another Halo victory. And Gene Autry, I know you're up there, and I know Jimmy Reese is there with you. Your beloved Angels have done it. Your Angels are the champions of all of baseball as they defeat the San Francisco Giants 4-1 in Game 7 of the World Series at Edison Field. Streamers coming down from the sky, fireworks going off in center field. A mob of media surrounding the Angels on the field. Yes, the Angels. The Yes We Can Angels. The Heartbreak Angels. The team that could never quite get there. They made it. Darren Erstad absolutely crying in tears as he hugs Troy Glaus. He caught the final out. A man that has played his heart out every time he steps on the field. And the crowd, some of whom have been waiting since 1961, when the Los Angeles Angels came on the scene. And through the years, they shared Dodger Stadium. And on through all the heartbreaking years as the California Angels, it was worth the 42-year wait. Nobody wants to leave their seats. The Thundersticks still banging together, and the celebration is in full swing at Edison Field in Anaheim. The Big A is finally the home of a champion. Yes, we can. Yes, we believe. And yes, it has happened. Joe Madden, who has worked in this organization as hard as anybody, hugging Darren Erstad. There have been so many people through the years who have tried with all of their resources and everything you can possibly put on the field or into the front office or out in the minor leagues. It's all paid off tonight. The Angels have done it, and they have proven that if you just hang in there and believe, it can happen. Eckstein raised up by Troy Gloss. And little David Eckstein, all heart, smiling, grinning as wide as you can imagine. So is Troy Gloss. So is Aaron Seeley. He's in the middle of all of that. He helped the Angels this year. He helped the pitching staff in ways that don't show up in the record books. And the crowd just, they don't want to leave. They're basking in the moment.